So I want to ask you, what is your take on that? Because I think I'm going to start scouting about once every 3 weeks and seeing what's happening.
What the deer are
kind of
doing.
go out there about noon when you think everything's kind of off the property, and you get done hunting, you're sprayed down, and because I think I missed out on that spot. I mean, I didn't have a camera running over it. I had a camera running on the little kill plot there, but I wasn't getting any buck pictures per se with the buck sign all around it.
So at one time here, dude, I ran 5 food plots because, my family land lays out the way it does. I had plots on them. I had plots everywhere. I had 5 food plots at once here and lots of deer, as you can imagine.
Oh, yeah.
But the problem is I could not get good access to 3 or 4 of those spots.
Yeah.
And it's, what I realized or what I believe is I was causing more harm trying to hunt them.
Yeah.
And it's just what you said. I mean, it was rubs, it was scrapes. There was sign there. The bucks were there.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get in there
Yeah.
without compromising the setup.
Sure. Here we go.
This segment's brought to you by Woodsman Custom Calls.
Man, I've known Sean a long time. Great dude. He makes a great call. I haven't helped him design the camo cutter, which we saw what that thing did in Missouri this year.
Man, yeah, we had a heck of a trip up in Missouri. Ended up taking 3 birds on that trip.
Yes, sir. That's one of the 11 calls he makes out of his Outlaw series mouth calls, but he also makes slate calls and glass calls if you need those.
We've had Sean in here on the podcast. Really good guy.
Great call. Designed by killers for killers.
What is up, everybody?
Welcome back to the Hunt Experience Podcast, episode 46.
4-6, brother.
4-6. Lots going on since 4-5.
Lots happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you've been in the woods a bunch. I've been in the woods a bunch.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I seen you got quite a few projects done since we've been together.
I did, man. Let's see, what all have I done?
Red Osier? I see.
Yeah, I got my red osier dogwoods in. So instead of the little stobs that me and you put in, I actually bought some like 3-gallon plants.
I seen it. Yeah. Yeah.
Planted those around there. So I'm thinking with those, 2 fruit trees I have there as well, maybe even next year putting some switch in there and just having a thicket with some stuff. Cause I say those things kind of crawl around and just see what happens. I don't know.
So you kind of transitioned in that spot too.
I think so. I had some pretty good buck action there year 1, but now it's kind of more of a doe plot. I don't get a whole lot of buck action there, which, would surprise both of us.
No kidding.
As thick as it is, but I mean, I've got great access there. So I'm just going to change it up and see what happens if these things survive being an older, I've got along that, southern edge there, I've got 3 of those that you and I planted that survived.
Yeah, so that's the
about
wettest.
a foot tall, right?
That's your wettest spot, too, right?
Yeah.
So that's probably we get pretty nasty. I think that's probably been our downfall. A lot of this stuff is our summers are rough. They have been for the last 2 years.
Being where I'm at now, and I'll do the same thing with these. I'll do my fruit trees. I'll just keep them watered and see if I can get them through the summer.
Part of your round. Yeah. Just make it part of your round.
Part of my round. So I think that'll be good. It's going to be exciting. I got them all kind of caged in. I used our old fireworks tent stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, I got some wire here. I could cut it up and make squares and do all this stuff. Or I could buy my other wire. And I was like, oh, I know what I'm going to use.
Yeah. Got the perfect thing.
Quick and easy.
Dang right.
And it's cheap. So I did that with some zip ties. And then I drilled in some more switchgrass.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got, I extended my plot and drilled all that.
Oh,
stuff
yeah. I thought you meant down there. You hadn't done that yet.
No.
Okay.
No,
You're thinking about adding it?
Yeah, I still got time to do it, but it's really wet after we got
I know.
8 inches of rain.
8 inches of rain, yeah.
Crazy
rain.
So.
We needed the rain, but then we got a flood. So
yeah,
it's one or the other, it seems like.
Yeah. Corridor planning's looking good. I did the rye that I drilled in to where the plot screen is about 4 inches tall now.
Nice.
And I need to move some logs. That may be part of my job description today too, because I got switchgrass planted right there where I got all those logs set, and I don't know if it'll
stun it back.
Oh, I know it's going to, but if I can get them out of there now, I may still have a chance of getting.
You got a place for them?
I'll probably set them along that highline wire for now. See if I'm gonna sawmill them up.
Mess with them or not?
Still debating on that whole deal.
Sure.
But, and then of course we got the. We had Jim on here last episode. I've been really getting into the coon trapping. So I've been running my trap sometimes in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon, and I've been killing more possums and coons. But
Have you?
I did get a couple nice females. What they say, they're
Yeah, they're carrying
right now. So I
Mm-hmm.
think I'm definitely depleting them as we go here. But I moved them all around. I moved my original spots. And I put them along the high line wire between me and the neighbor along the fence row. And I kept that one down low where I did the red osier dogwoods. Cause
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude, I catch one every day right there.
Really?
I think it's because that little creek runs
The
through
wet,
there.
yeah, like he was talking about. Yeah, the wet.
That creek runs through there. But
Well, I sent you the picture, so I went and bought 5 traps.
Yeah,
and then I put out 4.
Yeah,
and I'm on night 2. Hadn't got nothing yet.
Yeah.
But it's brand new. I just got them set up. But I kind of did. I didn't have a cable set up like he did.
Oh yeah, he told me he'd make you those cables. He said, "Let me know."
I ended up. I got lag bolts.
Yeah,
and took a drill out there, and I just put them next to my big trees.
Yeah,
and just run them out there at the bottom.
That's what they're designed for. But I mean, if your ground's not soft, I mean, the cables are way easier to.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like that one I caught yesterday, she had. It was wrapped up around 4 different trees and then the briars, and I was like, "It's gonna take a minute to get out." But yeah, in between that, I was going out to check traps, and sometimes them possums are pretty nasty. So I see if I had some gloves in the golf cart. Looked down, looked back up, took a cedar limb right to the face. Whack. So I went 2 days. Like, man, my eye was swelled up, and I'm allergic to cedar anyways. Like, I feel like I got cedar limb in it. Like when I blink, I just couldn't. Like there's something in my eye. So I finally broke down and went to the eye doctor, and he said, "Well, let me check your right eye." And there's a little bit of abrasion on that, not too bad. And then he went to the left eye, and he said, a whole bunch of jargon to the nurse behind her as she was recording all kinds of words I didn't know what it meant. He's like, "We're going to take you back for surgery."
Really?
Okay. So the clear membrane that you have over your eye was like just ripped away and was like flopping. That's why I was hurting so bad. So I had to go in and cut all that.
So does that just replace itself, or was it?
Yeah, eventually I had a protective contact lens over it for a while, like a bandage, and I went in, let's see, what's today, Friday, Wednesday, and they took that off, and it kind of went back the way it was, and I got like, almost like this Neosporin stuff I got to put in my eye at night, because they say your eyelid will stick to the bare eyeball and just keep ripping it away, so you got to put like this Neosporin crap in there, so.
Well, I'd seen your video where you went and assassinated the limb that assaulted you. Dude, I'm getting rid of this sucker right now.
It was so stupid. I mean, that's the stupidest crap ever, right? Like, go in for like, man, I told her, I was like, my eye hurts. I got to go try to flush this thing out with some saline solution or something. So I went back out, and I had 4 more things to do. So I'm just like, powering through it all. Like, man, it's going to clear up eventually. The next morning, my eye was shut. And then next day, I was like, can't hardly see my computer screen at work. And I think I'm gonna go to the eye doctor. When you get done, we gotta take you back. We gotta do a little operation and get rid of all this carnage you've caused.
Wow.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah,
land management, brother, and trapping, right?
Yeah, stupid. It was one of those. I knew the limb was there. I dodge it. I was running the same trap line every day, but just had to look down for a second. I mean,
gotcha.
It was full force, and when I first took my hand off my eye, I couldn't see nothing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I just blew my eyeball out or something, but eventually I could kind of start seeing it again.
Jeez.
Yeah. So nothing on your traps yet?
Not yet.
What are you using for bait?
Marshmallows.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I think I'm going to switch over to cat food here in a little while to see if it makes a difference. I see a lot of guys doing that.
Yeah. I just thought here it'd be immediate, and but I do have a couple of stray cats, and that may be what's been jacking with me here. So I don't know. I mean, I know I got coons. I know I got them. So it's a matter of time.
I got one really, really smart possum. So I'll dribble some, 5 or 6 marshmallows on the outside. And I still have a camera running over this spot because it was a big scrape site. And a possum would come by that camera every night. I'm like, oh, finally, big old fat possum. Like, tonight's the night. Go out there. The marshmallows will be gone off the ground. And no possum.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, I'm going to catch this freaking thing. It's eating up my marshmallows and not getting in the trap. So I hadn't ran mine today, so we'll see.
Well, before you got here, I walked mine.
Did you?
I've done it where it's not far from the house,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
can literally take binoculars
Yeah.
and check because what I did, dude, is my main feed spot up top,
Mhm.
I've always had coons there for years.
Sure.
And so I did 2 sides of a tree. So there's one on this side and one
Oh,
on this
okay.
side.
Yeah.
And then the bottom side of my food plot down there where my little pond is,
Mhm.
I thought water,
Yeah.
I did 2 different trees.
Oh, okay.
Because what I did is I anchored to the trees.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
with lag bolts.
Oh, gotcha.
And so there's no way to, and then I can just, with a
Yeah.
socket, pull them right out if I want to move them.
Yeah. I see a lot of guys use those big stakes, But
Yeah.
yeah, Jim said, he's got
cable
all the stuff. He's got everything you need to make the cable. So
I can see where that would just be super
yeah,
simple.
it is. Yeah,
you just loop it.
loop it through there and pull it through.
Yeah.
You can change them real fast, and
Yeah.
it's quick and easy to move them around. So
Now we'll see. I mean, and by the way, we got sponsored.
what?
Yeah.
Let's go.
CNR Farms
Okay.
bought the traps.
Let's go.
So this dude I know,
Yeah.
he's related to me.
Yeah.
He calls me up and he's like, listen, I'll help on the traps.
Yeah.
If you want to go get them. I was like, sold.
Yeah.
So CNR Farms got the traps.
Yeah.
And once I catch a few and kind of learn what I'm doing, I'm going to move to his place.
Okay.
And there's 40,000 on him.
Oh, really?
Well, down there by that
Yeah.
creek, it's
I didn't know if you
horrendous.
had to like make him a coonskin hat or something.
Well, I might do that too.
Yeah.
I mean,
I looked into that. It's too much work.
I seen your hat, by the way.
No, I just bought one. Yeah.
There's a lot of work to make one. Huh?
Yeah. Well, even the tails, I looked at, I'm going to start keeping the tails, just whatever, you know what I mean? But it's like, I started watching videos on how to do it.
Big process.
Yeah. Well, getting it off, I got one off. It's pretty easy. Just make a slice around the bottom. It pulls right off the bone. But then you got to get a straw, put salt inside and let that set, and then wash it out and soak it in some tanning. It's kind of like that snake deal, the tanning solution and this and that.
Yeah.
It's like,
I ain't doing that much work.
yeah, it's fixing me summertime. I'm be brush hogging and mowing and weed eating and taking care of the pool. And like, I ain't got time to be
doing that.
mountain coon tails.
Well, I think I'll eventually start getting them here. I'm going to put the last one I'm going to put at the back.
Yeah.
Just because there's always coons back there too.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, I'd never really seen how they worked.
Oh, yeah.
And they're really strong, man.
Yeah.
Golly, I was impressed about how, boy, if you got a finger in there, it would mess you up.
No question.
Woo,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
So I can see where it hold on to them well.
After you do them a few times, because the first time I did, I was like, what the man? Your strength and you're trying to get that deal over there. And it's like, it's kind of difficult. So they make this little tool. I got it off Amazon. You just lock it down there and click it. But I've used mine enough now to where it's like, I can pop them.
I finally figured out once you pull them back a little ways, you grab the lever.
Yeah.
And then it's like easy to hold.
Yeah. Yeah.
It took me a few minutes to figure it out because I was like you. I was like,
yeah, me too. I bought mine at the co-op down there. I was sitting at my desk, like, I don't want to set it right now, but I kind of do. And it was like, so I wanted to set it. And I was like grabbing hold of the one hand, like, oh my gosh. And so I started researching, like, how to set dog proof, and they make this little lever and just
pops it down.
I haven't even used mine because mine are like, once you get it down.
Yeah. By the fourth one, I was just like, I got it now. Yeah. But I set one and then I stuck a butter knife in it.
Really?
Wow. I was like, wow, that's impressive. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to get your
no kidding
anything caught in there.
And Pomeranians.
Yeah.
I'm afraid they're going to stick a paw in.
Yeah.
So it's like, we go out now. I have to make sure they're with me.
Oh yeah.
They're going to go straight to the marshmallows. I mean, it's not in my yard, but they're ding dongs. They'll take off. Oh, and speaking of Pomeranians, if you really want a good shed dog,
I saw that.
Can you believe that, dude? So me and the wife are out there walking around the plot, and I was telling her all what I'm going to do this year, the new plans, and look down, and she's got a dang shed in her mouth. And I said, Prim, her name's Prim. I said, Prim, you got a shed, and she immediately dropped it like she'd done something wrong.
Yeah.
Well, I'd hit it with the brush hog.
Yeah. When you sent me that picture, I was like, what part of a deer? I couldn't figure it out.
Where did it come from?
Yeah. I was like, man, I forgot what that thing was.
Yeah. So, we was proud of her. Now, the $1,200 she cost.
Oh yeah.
And there you go, man. I got a third of an antler out of it. You made that joke. You had made that joke. Hey man, you gonna get your shed dogs out there?
Yeah.
And she finds one. I thought it was hilarious.
You got some ROI on your investment anyway, a little bit. I don't know what you can grind that up into some potion or something.
Oh, she can do antlers and deer poop. She's got that down.
Yeah. I let Scout run the property last night while I was running traps, and he didn't come back with anything, surprisingly. Yeah, no, he normally He was staying pretty close to me though. Normally, if I just tell him he can go, he'll just go. He kind of knows his boundaries. He won't go too far, but
Yeah.
he met me back at the house, and he normally has something like a pig rib that I shot. I mean, he comes back with something normally. Last night he came back really, really muddy. So I don't know
he had some fun.
I don't know where he went, but yeah, he didn't come back with any.
Well, I want to take you out there before you leave today and show you my new layout. So
Yeah.
I went in with the brush hog and brush hogged my layout as far as what I'm going to do for everything this year. And so,
right here,
yeah, out here.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to throw a little video together, just kind of showing what the plot plan is for this season.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
And the screening and how I'm going to, and so I want to take you out there and show you.
Yeah.
Remind me before you leave to do that. But so I got a new topic for you today, just something I thought was really cool. And I have something me and you do, and we don't talk about this, but we spring stuff on each other. We don't, I mean, our shows are really not planned per se.
Not at all.
No.
Maybe the first 3.
Yeah. When we first started, we were taking notes and freaked out. And it's like, now it's kind of fun to bring ideas to each other and get a real take.
Yeah.
And so, I seen something the other day I thought was super cool. Did not know this, and I can't remember the guy. He's a wildlife biologist. I cannot remember his name. You'll know who he is if I can think of it. But anyway, so he said when you find a shed, you can tell whether the animal was malnutritioned at one point by the shed. And I was like, what? I've never heard this. I've got tons of sheds.
Like the pedicle or something?
The pedicle.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever heard that?
Maybe. It kind of rang a bell when you said that. But.
So let's check this out. All right.
Yeah.
So here is a Chaffee buck.
Yeah.
This is a shed I found on Chaffee years ago when I shed hunted. I don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So what they said is if the pedicle is concave, that he struggled at some point.
From injury or malnutrition? Or?
Malnutrition.
Okay.
Yeah. So at some point, he didn't get enough of the nutrition. Okay. So check that out. You see that? See how it's kind of concave?
It kind of makes sense.
It does. Okay. Oh, so Chaffee buck. Okay. Got some malnutrition here.
Yeah.
All right. You remember, where I hunt down on public?
Yes.
And you went with us?
Yeah.
You remember I told you I found a set of sheds that time?
Yeah.
Oh, here they are.
Yeah.
Okay. National forest.
Yeah.
Public land. No concave at all.
Yeah. Plenty
just flat.
Plenty of browse down there.
See how it's just flat across on both? So you think, okay, that's cool. There's thickets down there.
Yeah.
But there's no food plots. There's no nothing. And so, okay, this is a public land buck. These are 3.5-year-old sheds, I believe, because I've got him at 4.5 on the wall in there.
Yeah.
And, to me, this year, he didn't struggle. Didn't seem to if you go by the pedicle.
Yeah, if you buy into that.
Buy into
that, yeah.
All right, so here is one off my food plot.
Okay.
This little guy right here.
Yeah.
So it's 1.5 years old. Check this out, dude. Look how tall and how healthy that pedicle.
I found 3 this year on my place.
You need to go look.
I need to check them out, yeah.
You see that, dude? It's almost rounded.
I think I have heard this before, but yeah.
Yeah, and so this deer is at 1.5 years old, did not suffer any kind of malnutrition. That thing is tall and rounded.
Yeah.
But it was right out here in my food plot.
He's been
eating good.
Full of winter peas.
Yeah. Eating good in the neighborhood. So anyway, I had seen that and I thought, oh, that's super cool. I got to go check some of my antlers.
Yeah.
And there you go, man. There's 3 different regions. So public, highly hunted area, lots of thickets.
Yeah.
Lots of,
you think there'd be quite a few browse there, but I mean, you never know where this deer,
Yeah. And I don't, I'm unsure of his age. Obviously, we don't know that. But, and then, like I said, this buck on public found both sides.
Yeah.
Pedicles don't show any kind of malnutrition. If that is true the case. And then, this little guy living
over nutrition.
Yeah. Living in the promised land here with almost continuous food.
His blood work looks perfect. If you pull
no diabetes at all. This bad boy. So anyway, I just thought that was super cool, and I didn't know if you had heard of that. So I
mean, I want to say I had because that sounds familiar to me, but I've never really paid it no mind. Yeah.
But anyway, that was just something I was going to throw at you. And one other thing, are you a mushroom guy?
Man, when we used to go to Missouri, I would do a little bit of mushroom in the springtime. But
is this a morel?
Sure looks like one to me. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you've messed with them. I don't know anything about mushrooms.
Yeah.
Dude, that was in my switchgrass.
Huh.
Right out here.
Yeah.
I've never seen a morel around here ever.
No, they say there's some around here. I've never found one here.
Okay,
Now, like up
okay.
in Missouri, it's like you're up there turkey hunting, you see like 9 cars on the side of the road.
Yeah.
People have these bags. I'm like, what in the heck is going on?
Yeah, and they're
So I
in
finally
plain
just pulled
clothes.
over and asked them, like, man, what are y'all doing? I was like, oh, we're mushroom hunting.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
that's a
like
thing.
like a whole, like everybody in the whole family, they all drove their own car with 3 people in it. There's 20 people out there.
Well, aren't these expensive? Like, aren't they like?
Probably.
I think they
I
get
don't know.
I think they sell them. Isn't that why they do it?
I'm not a big mushroom. Probably,
Ugh,
yeah. I'm not a big mushroom guy, but
I don't eat mushrooms. Period.
it's I was gonna like I think that by the time I got the ones I found, I was putting them in my pouch or whatever. And by the time I got done, they were pretty much destroyed.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna bring some of them home, wash them up, and
Try 'em out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
put them in some butter and try them. But yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't survive. But
Well, it's like I tell my wife, she loves mushrooms,
really,
and Lexi likes mushrooms,
Yeah.
and it's like I don't eat anything that grows in the dark in a pile of poop.
yeah,
I just don't.
yeah.
I'm out.
One of my things. I'll
Mark that off the
I'll-
list.
I never cook them myself, but if I go to a restaurant and there's some mixed in with my steak or something like that, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
But it's like the texture's kind of weird to me, and
See, that's my problem. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. The taste is probably not too bad, but it's like once
some
I
of
get
them,
that,
some of them kind of taste like meat.
once I get that slimy,
Yeah,
I'm out.
yeah. It's kind of jump them over the side and all that.
My wife's a good cook, as you know, and she'll make like lasagna. She can do about anything.
Yeah,
Well, she'll make her own little pan with globs of mushrooms in it.
yeah,
Well, dude, one day I always take my lunch, most of the days.
yeah.
I was on the road somewhere and I warmed up the lasagna, and I was just like, and dude, it had huge mushrooms in it.
Oh yeah,
And I was like, "Ugh," I couldn't eat it.
yeah.
I was starving and I could not eat it. So that tells you how anti-mushroom. I am.
Yeah, that's kind of like me with tomatoes, man. We grew up, we always had a garden.
Yes, I
and
like
everybody in my family. We just had like stuff sitting around, so it was like tomatoes would be on the table, and we'd come in from doing whatever work we were doing as a family that day, and they're slicing up these cold tomatoes and putting salt on them, and just those look good. Every year I try them. Oh, I can't say. Can't try them. And like, I don't do this very, very often, but sometimes back in the old early travel ball days, like we just got to get to where we're going, roll into Brahms and get a burger, no tomato, driving home at night. It's dark outside. You bite into the first bite, and you get that big old tomato in there. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yep.
So now I've got to,
Rip it off
give it
and throw
back to the wife. I'm like, hey, get the tomato off this thing for me so I can eat the freaking thing. Like, geez Louise, I don't know how. And to me, that just tastes like an unripened fruit. Like whatever this isn't done yet to me. But,
yeah,
and also the texture is like it's a weird thing for me.
I'm that way with sour cream. Like you ruin my Mexican food if there's sour cream.
See, my wife kind of got me on the sour cream. I don't eat a ton of it, but I don't mind it too much.
Baked potato, that's it.
Yeah.
Nothing. I don't want it on anything else.
Yeah. It's good in baked potato.
It's good.
I'd rather have that almost rather than butter anymore. But yeah, she got me onto that. When we got married, she's a big sour cream. And then,
my wife is too.
Back when, I was in my 20s and I was strong and lifting weights 6 days a week and all this kind of stuff, I wanted to like cottage cheese so bad because of the protein amount on it. It's like, oh man, I wish I could just eat a tub of that stuff, but I couldn't even.
Dude, I'm down.
Really?
Oh gosh, yes.
You have texture. I couldn't touch that. I can't even touch it to my lips, bro. It's like,
dude.
And Joe, we'd go to lunch and like have a salad bar or whatever, and it's like come up with this big old deal of cottage cheese. I'm just like, I can't even watch. What are we doing?
Dude, when I was a kid, we would get a cottage cheese and ketchup.
Ooh, yeah.
And just straight out of the bowl, bro.
Yeah, that's just something. It's just spoiled something or another.
Yeah, no, it's curdled milk. Yeah, for sure. So
that's such a high protein value.
Oh no, that's great.
These dudes
it's great.
Eating their tub of cottage cheese at the gym or walking out of the gym. Like, man, I wish I could do that. And I've bought it before and just stared at it and like, I just can't do it.
So I do it, by the way.
Yeah.
It's my nighttime protein.
Yeah.
And it's, it's a little slower digestion. That's why I do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, Lexi, all right, you need to eat some of this. And she was like, you do, is like taking a bite and she's like, trying not to puke. I was like, what's the problem? What's going on?
Yeah. I couldn't even touch it to my lips. There's no way. I've bought it before and looked at it, but I just never took the plunge on. Like, can't do it. Not right.
Not right. All right. So, I watched the video you just put out, and you kind of got a topic for today.
Yeah.
So I want you to just dive in there.
Well, again, we kind of,
Shoot at the hip?
well, yeah, that too, but, we also kinda treat our properties the same way,
Yeah, we do.
and so our technique is we hunt from the outside edges, never go in the middle.
Right.
Everything's once season starts, we got, like I've got my cameras on corridors and trails and stuff, and
Yep.
and I normally don't have to go in and change to check the batteries. They just normally last the full season. So I literally do not go into areas of my property the entire deer season,
Right.
even into January. But the place where we call the house plot, I never sat in that tree this year, not once. That's, where I was getting pictures of Spike, the big
Yep.
176 I killed. He loved that little area, but only at nighttime.
Right. Right.
And I was supplemental feeding there for a little bit, and I quit because I was just getting a bunch of does.
Mhm.
Does frequented it most nights, but I was coming up the trail, the one I had to pull the buggy up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I was coming up that trail, and I happened to glance over to my left, like, oh my gosh! And it's a hub scrape. I mean, there's like 3 scrapes in one. There's another scrape just right to the left of it, full of rubs and a really hard trail that goes down and goes through that first bedding pocket that I built, the one closest to the water hole,
Oh, okay.
and it goes into that thicket, and then it kind of just spreads out from there. And there is a bunch of rubs inside that thicket too that I created. Was it 3-4 years ago?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, man. It just like got me thinking, like, dude, I've got to start, pre-rut scouting this thing a little bit because,
See how they're using it?
well, every buck's different. I told you that this year is like the trails are totally different this year with the exception of a couple than they were last year. Corridors are still getting used. There's
Yep.
still a hard trail coming from my neighbor
Yep.
where I feel like they bed. But then a lot of the other trails that were there last year are not there this year.
Right.
They were all, it's a whole different set of bucks with the exception of a couple, but they used it properly differently. So I want to ask you, what is your take on that? Because I think I'm going to start scouting about once every 3 weeks and seeing what's happening.
What the deer are
Kind of
doing.
go out there about noon when you think everything's kind of off the property, and you get done hunting, you're sprayed down, and because I think I missed out on that spot. I mean, I didn't have a camera running over it. I had a camera running on the little kill plot there, but I wasn't getting any buck pictures per se with the
Right.
buck sign all around it.
So are you thinking that bucks are coming in and scent checking through the woods? Is that what you're thinking is going on?
Yeah, no question. Yeah.
So they're not
Yeah.
popping out in the openings necessarily.
They're not coming. I didn't really get anything significant on that food plot. I mean, at all. I had that one little 3.5 that hung around. He was in velvet. He hung around and he frequented that food plot a lot, but he was the only one, but I don't think can be responsible for all
Sure.
the sign I was seeing there.
Sure.
So in my mind, it's like, what am I missing? You know what I mean? Or what did I miss?
Yeah. So, okay. So I've got probably a little different thought on that probably than most do just
Yeah.
because of my situation. That's all I can base everything on is
Mhm.
my place here, my other places. Most all of them are little small tracks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're small property.
Sure.
And I hunt them in a way that is the least impact
Yeah.
on the place because it's a smaller piece of property,
Sure.
And yours is a little different in that you've got several sets set
Sure.
around.
Yeah.
I mean, you got lots of options.
Yeah.
Whereas here, I got 2 spots.
Yeah.
And I did that. So let me back up a little bit. So at one time here, dude, I ran 5 food plots because, my family land lays out the way it does. I
Sure.
had plots on them. I had plots everywhere. I had 5 food plots at once here and lots of deer, as you
Sure.
can imagine.
Oh yeah.
But the problem is I could not get good access to 3 or 4 of those spots.
Yeah.
And it's, what I realized or what I believe is I was causing more harm
Sure.
trying to hunt them.
Yeah.
And it's just what you said. I mean, it was rubs, it was scrapes. There was sign there. The bucks were there.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get in there
Yeah.
without compromising the setup.
Sure.
And it took me a couple years to figure that out.
Yeah.
Well, I had the other place over there that was family that, where I used to hunt over there.
Mhm.
Same scenario.
Yeah.
Dude, the stud sign and the sightings and everything.
Oh, yeah.
I had to push in there pretty deep.
Yeah.
Well, what I didn't, took me a few years to figure out was I'm screwing up a bunch of hunting
Mhm.
because I was going back to the spot
Yeah.
instead of trying to bring them into a spot that I have just great access in and out of.
Right.
So that's kind of where I fall. And
Yeah.
even with your setup, I know what you're saying. There's a good chance you missed some bucks that cruised through there
Yeah.
because you couldn't see that spot. But
Well, ironically enough, the set I have, the house set that I have, I can totally shoot that.
so you can get in and hunt
Oh,
it.
yeah, it's bulletproof with a west
You
wind.
just didn't have the
I never hunted it.
information.
I didn't have I was,
I
like I
got
said, relying on my camera, but, I got no bucks on this spot.
Well,
There's no
see-
sense hunting this evening,
Well,
but
see, you can't really be hurt then if you're going to hunt it with the correct wind
yeah,
because you already have a set.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And you kind of have that on your whole place.
Yeah, no, it's that spot right there. I can hunt west, northwest, and southwest with no way I could get busted.
Well,
Absolutely no way.
I remember you telling me, when we've kind of first started on your project over there, it was like, dude, if this spot right here would work, this would be a check mark. I mean,
Yeah.
just
No,
wonderful.
for sure. Yeah, I got the switchgrass popping again
Mhm.
there, and it's finally working. Last year I did switchgrass, and I did about an 8-foot row of plot screen.
Mhm.
Well, this year I tilled it up and I drilled some more switchgrass in, so now it's about 16, 18 wide. So it's going to take some time, but
Sure, it's coming.
But no, it's the access is not an issue. It's just for me, it's like, man, I feel like I should probably be scouting this thing every couple, bi-weekly or something
Sure.
to see what's going on, which is something I've been
No.
since we did the 40-acre project is like the middle of the property I will never step foot in.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of like, I think I need to step foot in it. So,
Well, and that particular set you're talking about is really not even pushing in. You have it,
not really.
You have it set up to
Yeah.
where you can get in and out and not
Yeah.
really cause an issue there.
Yeah.
It's just the problem becomes, and I've seen it here on many of my places, you have to pick. It's like, okay, I know they're coming to the destination food plot at some point.
Yeah.
Did they crack the code and come out early enough?
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's the thing.
I never had it on camera. So it's like,
Exactly.
were they there 12, 1, or midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning? I don't know.
Yeah. And so so I mean, to me, with your setup and access being good,
Yeah.
that's something you would definitely say, okay, especially dude, if you got, in my mind, if you got a good buck coming to the destination
Yeah.
and he's not regular, but he's coming,
Sure.
that's a cutoff point for sure. That's a staging area for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
You know what I
And it's
mean?
a way safer one than the kill plot that's adjacent to it.
Right.
Because I feel like,
That's harder
I've
to get
sat in
in.
there. I've got a climber that I take in there occasionally,
Mm-hmm.
but it's normally really early season when I'm kind of just, I want to go hunting before I have any good buck because I'm afraid with, that wind blowing that direction could mess up.
Well, let me ask you this. So something that I've done over the last few years, did you have any directional rubs? Where the deer's facing a certain direction. So were they going or coming? Could you tell that at all?
Yeah.
So were they coming up or were they going down?
Going down.
Okay. So is it an exit from this food source, you think?
If you're going by rubs only, I would say yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That would be my,
Yeah.
so that would be my second thought is
Yeah.
they've already been to the destination. They've already been,
Yeah.
they either fed or they checked the girls.
Yeah.
And that's just like their calling card.
Well, see, that's kind of what I thought too. It's like that could have been like an early morning stand that could have been really good.
Leaving the main food source.
That I just stayed out of. So it's like,
Mm-hmm. And they stayed in the timber between
Yeah.
your kill plots,
yeah,
kind of,
yeah.
and your bed neck.
Well, so here's the deal. I've got the kill plot sets, and then I got a little bit of timber, and then I've got that big bedding that I discovered this year of the switchgrass bedding.
Mhm.
And I've got another kill plot on the other side in that loop.
So they're in between that.
Mhm.
Gotcha. Okay.
I said they're in between that. They could be going up and hitting. I found 2 sheds in that switchgrass this year, and I mowed over another one. So there's 3 total in there. And again, tons of sign around that too. So,
Yeah.
And even in that first little thicket, that little test run we did with hinge cuts and it definitely worked, but, tons of rubs in there, bunch of hook bushes and,
Yeah.
so it's like they went to there and then it kind of broke off. One went south, one went east.
Okay.
So
Hard trail coming down the hill then, kind of what you're thinking. leaving the destination.
I feel like.
I mean, that would be my guess too.
Yeah.
Because I mean, a lot of times you can look, because most of the rubs happen early.
Yeah.
You can look, okay, this buck was headed
Yeah.
to the south or,
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And that would definitely play into your, as far as, okay, he wasn't headed to the food source. He was leaving.
That's what, so first thing kind of my mind, morning set. I mean, that's
Right.
where you want to be. But
Yeah.
yeah.
It'd be early.
As I followed the trail, early morning set, you
Mhm.
see,
Mhm.
hopefully it's, early enough. But I mean, I don't know.
It's kind of cool though, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you start
I-
dissecting your
Yeah,
property
sure.
and realize, oh, they weren't using it like this at all. They were using it like this.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I kind of need that intel during the season.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you.
yeah.
Well, for me, it was I try not to do it because it makes me want to hunt it.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
And what I found out for me, now this is just for me, it isn't for everybody, is I was causing more harm than good.
Yeah.
And when your setup is really good and you can't screw it up,
Yeah.
and there's deer all around it,
Mm.
it's like, man, I know I could probably kill that deer if I was in there.
Yeah.
But to me, my mind works. It's like I got one shot at it.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna blow out a doe. I'm gonna bust. You know what I mean? It's like, and so, but I'm just talking private. I would definitely hunt public that way.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like you go in public, you find sign, you set up, and you hunt. That's what you do.
Totally different situation there.
Yeah. But on public, when you're out there just trying to get a deer, heck yeah. But on private, when you control the narrative so much, and I don't know, man, I think that that's something I've learned over the years is just my impact was a lot bigger than I thought it was. You know what I mean?
Well, especially you're talking about 40, 50 acres.
Exactly.
I mean, you got
no big tracks, just small tracks.
Yeah. You got a big, I mean, you got a big buck that's there. You get pretty leery. And, we talk about this all the time on some of those, like the fork stand set, you got to have like an east wind to get in there. And I feel like I'm blowing back into the bedding when I sit there. So I've to this day, I've never sat there, but I get so many pictures. And it's kind of like, on public is different, but on private, you have to have sense enough to know, kind of like for me, scouting around my little, it's probably not even a quarter acre switchgrass deal. All the sheds that were in there, the big hub scrape that I killed this deer off of, 4 years ago or something like that, is still being used.
Still used.
Like, man, I really want to hunt this, but I can't. The reason why I redid my whole property was because this thing hunts like garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, I killed a couple bucks off of it and shot a really nice one that survived, but it's not ideal.
Yeah. I think, and again, my opinion, I think a lot of people make that mistake.
Yeah.
In that they see the sign.
It's a good area I'm going in.
Going in. And like I said, in most cases, just hunting, that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
But on private, when you can kind of control the narrative, I'm just like, and this is just me. I mean, I'm not
sure.
And your place is a little different than mine as far as your vastness behind you and all that. I don't have that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like if I go in and bump a deer, he's gone. I mean, for you, it's like another one could slot right in. And you know what I mean? It's not the same.
Yeah.
But it is private land, and I control who's on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's kind of how I think. It's like the property me and Jody had.
Mm-hmm.
We never went in.
Yeah.
Never went in there.
Yeah.
Well, we go hunt for antlers.
Yeah.
And scout it. Dude, there's sign all over that place.
Yeah.
But the buck wasn't there. And, I don't mind saying that. That's kind of who I am. I'm that far in my hunting progression or whatever.
That's kind of my whole season this year.
Yeah. And it's like, if you went by the sign, dude, you get excited being in there. You know what I mean? Because there were some bucks in there for sure.
I can see that.
But I don't know. That's just kind of the way I fall. And then when I go to public land, it's just the opposite.
Oh yeah, me too.
It's like, oh dude, massive hub scrape right here. You know where I'm going to be.
Hell, even we hunted public land, Missouri for a long time. Like, usually I would get on Onyx and find an area I wanted to be, some sort of saddler draw or something, and then I would end my hunt fairly early that morning, and like I'm
put boots in the ground.
Yeah,
sure.
I would literally walk and have a sandwich and scout, and then reset. For that evening hunt, and like, here's what I'm going to be.
Yeah. See, when me and Jode went this last fall.
Oh yeah,
same deal, dude. It was like, okay, we went through the spots we knew.
Yeah,
and didn't have no luck. And it's like, all right, I'm going to put some boots on the ground and just go in. And when I've physically seen animals.
Yeah.
like popping up out of bedding. I was
Yeah.
like, okay. And then get in there and grunt
Yeah.
and a little, buck comes in. It's like,
Sure.
okay.
Yeah.
But it was one of them scenarios where it's so thick.
Oh, yeah.
He's got to be on you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they could have been all around us and we would have never seen them. I mean, that stuff, I don't know what that is growing out there, but it's like 7 or 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
And little sticks and tons of them. And they were bedding all in that.
Oh, yeah.
And it took us, we're towards the end of the trip to figure out that's where all the deer were.
Yeah.
And hunting that scenario is tough because them suckers know you're coming a long time before you get there.
Yeah.
So
kind of like you got to catch them when they're out of bed and on the way back to bed.
Exactly.
Even that can be pretty difficult when you're trying to get in there. And
oh yeah, for sure.
we've all played that game on public land. Yeah.
But man, I mean, for me, and like I said, the only experience I have is what I have.
Yeah.
It's what I've hunted all these years. And I am a low to no impact guy. That's my whole thing now.
Yeah.
And let's see, the second property had a couple good bucks on. I took Lexi in.
Yeah.
And we had a 12 deer evening.
Oh, yeah.
$9.
Yeah.
And, 3 of them come in after dark, can't get a shot kind of deal. And dude, I did not go back in there at all.
Yeah.
Because that spot, that you know which one I'm talking about, that particular spot it's kind of a one and done.
Yeah.
I have to go in there to kill.
Yeah.
Because I can't get out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to bust deer every time.
Every time you go in. Yeah.
And so, I mean, you got properties like that. So I think it does depend on the property some, if like in your case where you've already got sets that you can get in and out of.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would be like, heck yeah, dude, jump in the middle of that, especially during pre-rut rut.
Yeah, I think my plan is honestly, like I said, get when I'm kind of somewhat scent free. I mean, you can never be scent free, and you're going to leave some sign, but like hop on the e-bike and run the corridors and hop off and check some of those little islands that I have out there that are in between stuff. And like, if it's huntable, at least, you know what I mean? So I'm still not going into the middle, but I know in the middle, I can't hunt it. There's no
access.
I'd like to, there's some really good sign there, but I can kind of pop off some of those deals and like check out some surrounding areas. Cause I wouldn't even go on those kill plots or nothing.
Yeah.
Like I was staying out of all that stuff. Once I quit feeding there, it's like, I'm not going back in just watch the camera to see what happens. But,
yeah. Well, see, I'm thinking back to the client property, I'd went in there, after season, and I was like, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just mega rubs and just, it's like, oh my gosh, and you don't see any of that.
Yeah.
When you're hunting a certain area.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Cause I'm afraid to go in there.
Oh yeah.
But then after season, you're just like, there was tons of bugs in here. What the heck,
Yeah.
And so I don't know. Some of that it makes it tough. And that goes back to the, the cell phone or the cell camera thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We hunted different before cell cameras.
100%.
Everybody hunted different.
Yeah.
And, I was the long holdout weirdo that kept regular cameras going forever because I would have to go in and check them.
Yeah.
So I think you can go into a place and be fine.
Yeah.
Just do it right. You know what I mean? Really?
Yeah. Back then I always tried to, I'm going to go in Saturday around 12 or 1.
Yeah.
Try to ease in.
Yeah.
Pull my cards, drop 3 of them and don't know what I had on camera on the way back home and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Sure.
That's the whole reason why once we did the 40-acre project, I think I had 2 cell cameras then. And once we did mine up, I got more. The only reason why is because I don't want to have to go in there ever.
Yeah. Yeah. And
it made sense to me.
And it does make sense. And I still think it makes sense, but you are missing some things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because cameras don't tell you everything.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like even back there on that little fork stand area, you know what I mean? Like I do get a lot of activity back there, and that spot does stay fairly consistent.
Mm-hmm.
But the other kill plot just to the south of it back there, same type of deal. It's right. It's actually closer to that switchgrass deal. And, cruised back there a couple of days ago, same thing, just rub all around this little thing. Scrape. I got a mock scrape, like I had to throw up 20 feet under this pine tree and hang it all the way down. And it's,
tore up.
Yeah. I got a scrape that's, 4 foot around right there. I'm like, never knew that.
Yeah.
But that's one of those spots where, unless I had a picture of a giant putting that scrape down, I probably still wouldn't hunt it just because it's a pretty risky spot to get into.
Well, I think you can look at your setup that you hunted most of the season and go like, okay, If I counted up all the bucks I had on camera
Yeah.
through the season,
Oh, yeah.
there's no wonder your woods look like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Because you don't get to see it
Yeah.
while you're hunting because
Yeah.
I won't go in there. It's
Yeah.
like we're freaked out to go in there.
Yeah.
It's like, well, if I had 10 bucks coming
Yeah.
through the season, no wonder my woods are just
Yeah.
destroyed.
Yeah.
And, several of them stayed for you. I remember you telling me,
Oh, yeah.
oh, I've had this guy 18 times,
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, well, he's coming through there and, making scrapes and
Yeah.
putting rubs down.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, it's like, that was on the client property. It's like, dude, I haven't looked in here at all. And it's like, oh yeah, this place is jacked up with sign.
Torn up.
Yeah. And it's like, well, you had a bunch of bucks coming.
Yeah.
You think, okay, well, that makes a little more sense. They were actually doing their thing,
Yeah.
And we don't know that, but we know that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we with the cameras we have a pretty good inventory of.
Yeah.
We may not know what's going on in the middle of the property, but we know for the most part every buck that runs the place. I say that kind of off the cuff because you don't really know.
Yeah.
I mean, what'd you miss? Like I said, that I've seen several deer come out on me that never hit a camera, and I never saw him again. That 10-point, I got a video of him, but he never hit a camera.
Right.
And it's like, so I don't know. I don't know what we're catching. 50%, 70%.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It may be less than that.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly,
yeah,
you don't really know. I mean, you know who your resident bucks are.
Yeah.
But then these wanderers, you don't have a clue because they may push through a dang thicket.
Yeah.
Never take a trail. You know what I mean? It's like, but
yeah, I think I'm gonna move some cameras around some different spots this year. And like I said, I think maybe bi-weekly I may just ease out there and just see if I screw it up or if I figure something out in the areas. Like I said, I know I can hunt because
you're safe spots. I mean, you're not going to hurt anything.
It's
you know what I mean?
Still fairly good. I mean, I'll be getting on some food plots and stuff, but I mean, I'm not going to deep dive into it, but.
Well, see, you could, I mean, like the house plot, what do you need there in the east? Yeah. Right. You need an east wind, right? Or west. West.
Straight.
Yeah. West.
I got hunt west, northwest, or southwest there and be really good.
The golden. Yeah. So, I mean, dude, you got a cold front and big boy ain't coming out till after dark. And that may be the place to be. You know?
I know. That's what I'm thinking. It's like that. Well, let me.
Because he may stage. He may stand there in them woods for 15 minutes and wait for it to get dark. You know how they do.
I've been there. That video that you saw here a while back when you in some of my old cards, that big buck I killed was that way. It's like he just stood, or I didn't kill him, but just stared.
Brutus
just stood there for like 20 minutes, and I'm like, and I'm like, what? How do they stand still that long? I can't sit still for 4 minutes, and these guys just statue for a long time.
Oh yeah. Well, I wouldn't doubt a bit that. I mean, you go back 2 years on you, and you had that mega 8 coming, and y'all were just missing each other by minutes.
Yeah.
He was staging.
Oh, 100%. Well, I may have fixed that problem with the treetops and re-drilled the switchgrass there, and I got that new corridor there because he was coming from that direction every single time and scraping that mock scrape I had right there. I mean, I wouldn't even be back to the house sometimes, and he would be laying down a scrape on that tree. Like,
the problem is, the only problem I see is, are they coming from the neighbor in and then leaving out? You know what I mean? Like morning, like we're talking about?
Yeah.
That would be the question.
Well, so that was my first take when I saw the direction of the rubs. Like, right, this is a morning setup.
Yeah.
They're coming in here laying down these scrapes, or, I mean, I wouldn't think it'd be an evening setup because if you're going to, that place did have does, but if you're going to sit and check for does and lay down scrapes, I think I would have got them busting those does on the food plots. I had a camera running on there. So I feel like it was like one of their rounds they were making coming from destination heading out.
Well, see, now you've taken that whole side and made it to where they got to pop out on you to see that plot now.
Yep.
That could be big, man.
I'm hoping so. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess my opinion would be, I'm going to stay out unless I know my setup's good enough to go in. That's pretty much me.
Yeah.
And I don't know that that's right. And I know it's definitely impacted by cell cameras.
Yeah.
That plays a big role now. It's like, I was thinking about it the other day, my hunting has changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a boots on the ground guy.
Yeah,
back in the day.
I'm way too dependent on them because I think I already like. Well,
Mhm.
I know the way this place hunts. This is my 4th year hunting, and after this setup, I know the way it hunts. And then you're like, oh no, you don't.
Yeah, they're coming from this
Yeah,
direction.
yeah.
How you like that?
It changed this year, and
Yeah,
it's like, what
yeah,
the heck? So,
yeah.
but it goes back. So the first big deer, I said, like deer I mounted, first deer I ever mounted. I think it was mid 140s, big 9 point. He busted me out of a tree twice. Thanksgiving break, we were off work for 3-4 days. I'm going in, and I literally tracked that deer, big rub, had him on an old school camera, making this rub on a trail. So I knew he was coming from the south.
Yeah.
But he was going north, and he would go down to that creek, all the way to the creek. And so I stuck another camera down there. I got a picture of him down there. And then I ended up setting up in between that during the morning time. And I was sitting behind one of those ghost blinds.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I started grunting. And I mean, I was probably, I sat there before dark, but I mean, by the time I grunted my first sequence to the time I killed that deer was probably under 20 seconds.
Really?
It was because I'm going in. I'm going to try to figure out this deer. And, obviously there's some luck involved there. He happened to be on that path. But I mean,
Sure.
he was taking the fence line at night and coming through the middle where we dozed out the big plot.
Mm-hmm.
He was cutting a trail through there in the mornings, making a loop. And so I got in the middle of that loop with a good wind and killed him. But,
that's a kill mission, man. I mean, and I'm not saying you shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially when bucks are running wild.
Yeah.
Or pre-rut. I love pre-rut. Pre-rut's probably my favorite.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, they're just on their feet.
Oh yeah.
There's no actual chasing happening.
Yeah.
Man, they're really pushing it as far as daylight activity.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I'd much rather be in a pre-rut situation than a rut, just because
sure.
at times I've drawn my bow back on a pretty decent rut buck, and he won't even stop. You can yell, whistle, scream, holler, whatever you want to. And so, well, I mean, what are you going to do? Yeah.
I like the predictability.
Yeah.
And the rut is anything goes.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's like the lease over here, That's the only time I really hunt that anymore. It's just like, yeah, it's rut time. I'm going to get in there because I know there's some giants in there. And sure enough, everybody's going crazy in the woods. But, it is what it is. With a rifle, it's a little bit different.
Sure.
Hit one on the run. But when you're trying to stop one for a bow shot, it's like I've done that so many times during the run. Like, this sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know why people like this.
They're leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I gripe about rifle season every year, and then that's usually when I kill a deer.
Yeah.
After I've screwed up with the bows.
Yeah, I was looking forward to rifle season this year. The way my shoulder was, like, I can't. When I get this bow drawn back, I'm gonna shoot it about twice, and if I'm within a 10-inch area, I'm calling it good.
I'm good.
And that was my practice this year. I was like, I'm not tearing up my shoulder anymore. But yeah, lots of projects going on. Lots more today. I got a bunch of yard work to do, and all kinds of good stuff. I'm converting Luke's room into a man cave type thing.
Nice.
So I got my flooring in, and I got the underlayment today. So
when are y'all heading up? Aren't y'all fixing the turkey?
Luke and I?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, y'all got.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he can go. I'll have to see. I need to let you know.
That's soon, right?
I think it's the 20th something. Yeah. George texted me the dates.
Well, yeah, let me know if he's not in. I'll go with you. But
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. He's been busting it here lately, so I don't know what he'll be having going on, but I'm sure he'll probably want to go, but we'll see. Yeah, I need to find that out and see.
Yeah, because that's like soon.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I may go up here in the morning on the lease and see if I can listen around.
Well, I was actually going to call you to go to deer camp down there tomorrow, but I got Kansas. I'm going to fireworks stuff tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's already?
Yeah, we leave in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be interesting with the tariffs.
What do you want for them fire poppers there?
Well, I'll tell you this.
Was it 120%?
124%.
24%?
Yeah, is the tariff right now. So
surely they already got it all in country before you laid that on them.
No. No, the two I've talked to them both my suppliers, and they had some inventory.
Yeah.
And I bought.
Yeah.
Did I tell you that?
No, yeah, I knew that.
Yeah. So I've already bought my fireworks before the tariffs. By the way, come see me because I'll be cheaper than anybody else.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So then all the new shipments haven't, matter of fact, the one supplier I use said, we're not order anything until we know what the tariff situation is. Now they've tripled.
He told them they put a pause on it if y'all just come to the table. Like they ain't willing to come there.
They're the only ones.
They want to fight it out, so he's going to jack up.
Yeah, I'll get to go find out what's
well,
up.
You know
with
what's
that.
going to happen? Somebody's going to come to America and start making some good fireworks.
Well, if they'll get, lighten up on all the rules, man. That's the deal. That's why we don't make them here.
Yeah.
Is this, it's people can die and stuff blows up. But I mean,
yeah,
I get it. But I mean, we make ammunition and
we have ammo and we make dynamite and C4 and all kinds of other stuff that can kill people. So
I don't know. We'll see. But I want to go listen to, I haven't done that at all. I may get up in the morning and listen here just to make sure there's nothing here. I go up on the on the ridge.
I had a Jake on one of my cameras at the house.
Sweet.
Last Sunday.
It's probably because you have less coons.
It may be.
You've already taken some.
I don't know, but I was like, that's the first male turkey that I know of has been on my place. And I killed one 3 years ago on my place.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. That's cool. See, I went back through pictures and I had dad spot. I had 2 Jakes.
Really?
Yeah, just not too long ago.
Yeah.
And then the other spot we got, me and Jode's got, had 2 Jakes.
Yeah.
So some turkeys starting to show up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, any sign's better than nothing. I do have like 2 hens that's roam my property the whole season. I've ran cameras. Like I got a couple of hens that just pop up randomly in different spots, but no males. But yeah, male turkey. He just he stopped and posed for the camera. I'm like, I see a little beard on that.
About that.
Yeah.
Well, every year I get the outcast hen.
Yeah.
And she's already done her business or whatever, and nobody likes her.
Yeah.
And she comes to my place.
Yeah.
And it'll be one single hen every year. And I don't know if it's the same bird, but I mean, it's got to be, you would think. I don't know, how long does turkey live,
Oh, I heard the other day,
5-6 years? Is it longer?
Well, on average, 3 to 4, but yeah, they can get up there.
I mean, even the hens live that long, or
yeah, this guy on this podcast talking about males, male turkeys,
Toms,
yeah.
Well, I didn't.
Average lifespan's 3 to 4.
I didn't know, but yeah, I've had a single hen last 3 years in a row, and it's right after season.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, what's up with that?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Get out of here. Yeah, it makes you wonder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she'll come from that direction, and she'll be out there in my food plot.
Yeah, especially you get that clover out there. They're
yeah. Which it's doing pretty good, by the way. Update on the clover. I just mowed everything.
Okay,
and I put the brush hog on, and it was getting so deep I had to use a brush hog.
I know. I got mine's about this. So I brush hog all my ditches and that 5 acres I just bought, and then the 4 acres between me and Mom. I brush hog all that and below my heel. And it's like, oh man, it's almost brush hogging season again. I need to do some welding on my brush hog, and I gotta service my tractor at some point.
Yeah, I need to service my tractor.
Like, oh.
Well, I told you that my back plot, the dad's cows got in.
Yeah,
and they ate her up pretty good.
Yeah.
But where they didn't eat, dude, is probably 3 feet.
Dang.
It's deep.
Yeah. See, mine's kind of getting there, but where the trees where the trees were, well, they've about quit browsing because it's about probably 18 inches tall now. So I think that's about when they stop.
Yeah.
But I've still got a ton of clover in there, but where there were no trees up on the upper end, it's about, I don't know, 12, 16, 18 maybe in some spots, but down where all the trees were, it ain't near that high. So I think year after next, I should have a really good crimping season.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think this will crimp pretty good, except for I don't know if it's coming back, where the cows ate. I don't know if it's coming back.
I bet it will. I mean, you'd be surprised how that stuff starts growing now.
Yeah.
Especially all this rain we had.
It's true. Yeah.
I bet it probably won't, kind of like what I drilled into my plot screen area. It's not going to catch up with it, but if I can crimp something over there to get some nutrient back in there, I'm going to go ahead. I had it left over anyway. So
yeah.
No, I didn't. I had to buy a bag. I take that back. I bought one bag.
Oh, we need to get some plot screen coming.
I was just thinking about that.
That's going to be quick.
Yeah, I need to get that rolling. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with plot screen wise on my place yet because of the corn situation.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, we'll do the client's property.
Yeah,
we'll do dad's spot, and then my place for sure.
Yeah.
So,
what are you going to do up on your dad's place?
I want to divide that. I told you I wanted to run a really long run of it to divide that plot.
Split it in two.
Yeah, well, how that one side's open to the field.
Yeah, that's why I knew you'd probably do it there.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Oh, you're just gonna do one.
Just one big old swath through there, and that's it.
Yeah.
So that there's like an aisleway all the way to it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that'd be good. And then in front of the other one over there would be awesome if they can shoot over the top of it. That'd be really good. Do about a
Ye
12-foot
yeah.
section along that
Yeah.
bed she put up.
Yeah, we'll just in there.
Yeah.
That'd be it. You know, make three swaths wide and call it.
Yeah.
'Cause that's all it'll take.
Yeah.
Do you remember? I was going to ask you this. Do you remember what your settings were for the plot screen? Because yours was heavier than mine.
No.
I want to make sure
I doubt
set it.
if I wrote them down either.
I want to make sure I set it to your settings. Instead, you know, I had cut it back when I did mine because I was conserving. I only had a little bit of seed.
Yeah.
And mine was near as thick as yours was. So
Yeah.
I want to do that. And you know,
I think I looked it up somewhere.
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I may have written it down. I doubt it. I mean, I got that whole book I keep on the drill, and I tried to this year. I was like, I'm definitely keeping these settings. Now I did write them down, so somewhere in there,
it's in there.
And I know what my switchgrass settings are now. It's like 0 and 1 for 5 pounds an acre. I think I wrote that down somewhere. So,
Well,
we shall see. But yeah, it'll be here before we know it.
It's going to be here before we know it.
I'm going to be buying a bunch of corn. I think so. I'm going to do first.
Oh yeah.
And then I don't know. That's a good question. I was thinking about plot screen and where I would put it because I don't know if I'm.
You may not need it, huh?
Yeah, if I'm doing corn, there's nowhere to put it. I can't segment my plot until I mow it. I drill in my green, and then the corn's my segmentation. So if the corn doesn't work, it'll be too late probably to drill
plot screen.
Plot screen. So I may just have all green. So I don't know.
Yeah, either way, I don't think it's going to be huge.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to be all right either way.
Yeah, I like the way mine worked this year. I mean, where I mowed my spots out where the bucks can access it. Like I got tons of videos of them doing
coming
exactly what you want them to do. And that's really cool. If that was a bigger deer, that'd be really cool.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm going to take you out here and show you my setup. So
check it out.
Guys, that's all we got for today. We appreciate it.
Yep. Bye everybody.
Thank you.